Hey guys, Dylan from Noble Records, finally coming at you with another video. I know it's been a while, guys. I'm sorry. Just life has been insane lately, but I found some crazy good records over the past month or so. I try to do my heavy rotation a little bit more regularly, but it's just I cannot express to you how busy the past few months have been. Just it's a good thing. It's not a bad thing at all. It's just been the shop has been growing and doing really well. And just been doing more online, been doing exclusives, just a lot. It's just been a lot of crazy stuff going on. So anyways, as everything's evolving, I'm still trying to figure out, where to put my time. And sometimes the videos, they get put on the back burner a little bit, and it's just the nature of the business. The business comes first, family comes first. So a lot of times the YouTube channel comes last, but that's the way it is. I'm able to share this stuff out of the love for the music and the community, and I do cherish it very much and take it very seriously. I've had a lot of people ask me if I've quit YouTube. I've not quit, and I really want to do some more videos and stuff lately. But I haven't planned anything. Heavy rotation is one of those things that I can always do because I'm always picking up records like every day. So this is not everything I found, but this is just some of it. And I'm actually going to do one episode very soon that's just like the grails I've gotten, because I've gotten some really crazy stuff that I'd like to talk more in depth on. So keep your eyes peeled for that. But thank you all for sticking with me and continuing to watch and all that stuff and supporting us and everything. So I've had some really good collections come in. I've bought very little online, but I've had a lot of really cool stuff come in the shop. And I'll kind of talk about that as time goes on. Two of the major collections I kept a lot of things from. So anyways, first, this is just a random stack. This is nothing in particular. One of the viewers sent me this. And it says, he said something about, I left a note in there because I would like to, I always like to see, but it says, for a Zeppelin collector, I am betting that you don't have this copy of Presence, from the Utah viewer Everett. So Everett, thank you, man. This is a like a library copy, so it has that sticker for use of stereo player. It's just it's remarkably good shape, but they kind of just, it was something you could check out a library. So pretty cool copy of Presence. Just cool of him to send it to me. Just something that he had found. And so when viewers send me stuff, I'm always very appreciative. And that's a really cool one that will go straight in my collection and will not be sold. So thank you very much. I bought one collection. It's crazy. This lady called me and actually she emailed me first and said, hey, my dad has like a room full of prog records. Are you interested? And I was like, yes. So I called her like several times, couldn't get up with her. And I was like, what the heck? So finally, she calls the shop and she said, hey, I sent you an email. Is it all right if we bring them by? Which is great, because usually when it's that many, they want me to come look at them. She said they could bring them. So they had it's actually a Prius loaded down. It was over 1,000 records in this Prius. I've never seen anything like it. So they pulled them all out, and it wasn't any crazy prog, but it was a lot of, King Crimson, Eno, Emerson, Lake and Palmer, like, prog that's pretty normal. There wasn't anything really wild in there. There were a couple cool ones in there that I did keep that aren't in this video. I gotta see if I can find them. But the one that were like really exciting, man, this sounds ridiculous, but was this. If you've never seen this album, it's because this is a one of a kind. This is a Beatles White Album. And you can see where it says the Beatles right there. It's got the serial number like right here somewhere. But he had drawn over this, I'll take it out, it's worth seeing. But like, I'm a sucker for a cool Beatles White Album. And this and it's actually, the discs are really clean. And I needed a good clean first US press anyways, because I've got a UK mono and it's my favorite Beatles album. This is the inside. So like the detail on all this is ridiculous. I mean, you could tell he just probably sat and listened to this thing 1,000 times and just probably added something different every time he was listening to it. I just imagine him sitting as a kid, just sitting and listening to this album and doing his own artwork. But like, white albums are really cool. And I know about the guy, Rutherford Chang, and I've sold him some white albums, but he has a white album collection where he posts pictures of wild ones and stuff like that. This is the craziest one I've ever seen ever. It is amazing. It's just got the coolest artwork on it. So I'm going to keep that. I'm not have any intention of selling it. It's just something that's really, it's like folk art, you know. And sometimes when I meet somebody and they have a really good collection, I like to keep one record, you know. And so like all these records in here, I could pick them out, tell you where they came from. A lot of different collections, a lot of different people I've met. It's weird, but that's the way I am. So I got one collection. This guy came, he actually, I think he emailed me or something. We got into contact. His uncle was a record collector, had been collecting records since the 70s, never stopped buying them. And just up until now, recently. And he actually was in a work accident, hit his head wrong, went to the hospital, and never came home. It was just a really tragic, untimely thing. He wasn't a terribly, you know, he wasn't super old or anything. He just was something that was a freak accident. And it's super sad situation. And I hate when, I mean, I get collections. I always love getting collections. But it's just sad to think, you know, these were probably being enjoyed very recently, you know. And whoever had this collection, like, carefully constructed it over years and years and years. And here I am getting it all and parting it out. But I think that's how I'd want it. I want people to listen to my records. I think I'd want them to enjoy them. But anyways, so I got a really killer records from that collection, and I kept some of them too. This is one that I got. This is James Brown, Get on the Good Foot, and this is a white label promo. It's super, super, super clean. So that's a really cool one. He had, like, this stack, as I'm going to show you, is like crazy how much different stuff he had. Never seen a Parliament Mothership connection with the hype sticker. Never, ever, ever seen one. I don't know that I've ever seen one in the shrink. But this one is a really super clean copy with the hype sticker and everything. Definitely a keeper for me. And I've got my other copy I'm probably going to put in the shop at some point. But that's just nuts. This is a first UK press of Blonde on Blonde. Kind of show you, it's so cool, man. And I love this record so much. It's got that flimsy UK cover with the band inner, and it's the first stereo. I don't know if I said mine. It's the first stereo UK. So very, very cool edition there. He had, like, this is to show you the diversity of the stuff he had. This is like a late 90s press of Caius Blues for the Red Sun. Really killer record, and it's not a first press, it's like a second, but it's a late 90s press, like super rare. Same here. This is the Caius and the Circus Leaves Town. This is like a 96, 97, something like that. Late 90s press, second press of this, but it's a record you just don't really see that much, especially by OG copies. This is one, I'm trying to reconstruct my New Order Joy Division collection. I had everything at one point, and then kind of lost it all. This is Technique. It is a promo. The first collection I ever bought was massive, and it was all punk and new wave stuff. And it was the first time I'd ever heard New Order. And so I had like a near mint in the shrink copy of Substance, you know, both the Joy Division and the New Order. I had everything like near mint, perfect shape. And then as the years went on, needed to pay bills and sold them or whatever. This is a record that's maybe worth 20 bucks that I've looked for my entire life. And I just did not even realize it was such a cheap record. I just didn't even think about it. When I was younger, I didn't even know that they ever put it on vinyl, you know what I mean? But this is Will the Circle Be Unbroken, Volume 2. Will the Circle Be Unbroken, Volume 1, Nitty Gritty Dirt Band. Basically, Nitty Gritty Dirt Band got together and assembled like a super team of legendary bluegrass players to play this bluegrass record. It's 3 LP, amazing. And I grew up on that record, listened to it nonstop, loved it. It really gave me a affinity for bluegrass. But I knew that there was a volume 2, but I'd only ever seen it on CD. But this is a 90s, I guess a 90s press, maybe late 80s, I don't even know. It's 89. It's got that real 90s feel to the jacket and everything. But it's just the second volume where they did it again. And I'm getting excited to just like listen to it because I've wanted it for so long. And when I found it, I was like, oh, and it's like a $20 record. It's crazy, but I looked it up afterwards because I was like, I've never even looked it up. I could have just bought it online. It's just one of those things, certain records you don't want to buy online. You want to find it in person. So I know that's crazy. I just like, in all the records I've bought, I mean, I've easily bought over 1 million records in my life, and I've never seen that one, Anyways, Elliott Smith, this is a, I believe this is a 2002 pressing. This was in there. Super cool to find anything remotely early from Elliott Smith. This is not a first pressing, it's like a second or whatever, but it's a 2002. But it's got a Dave's Records $9.99 on it, which was pretty cool. I got excited when I found it because I thought it was the first press, but it wasn't. Anyways, but it's still early, still super cool. I love Elliott Smith. This is another one I got from that collection, Parliament Motor Booty Affair. This is always destroyed when you get it. This one is so freaking clean. It still has all the inserts in it, so it's got like this really killer, it's almost like a puzzle. All these different pieces pop out, and I don't think I've ever seen it actually in there, but it's like in absolute perfect shape. Unbelievable. So I couldn't let that one go. I don't even think I have this record, because if I get even if I find one and it's beat, I'm not gonna keep it, because what's the point? I'm just gonna end up upgrading it. I'm not gonna listen to it if it's a beat copy. So that's a record that is always beat. There's another one, Grandmaster Flash and the Furious 5. This is in the shrink. It's called The Message. This is one of those early hip hop records that are just legendary. Look at the wax on that. It's notoriously always destroyed. And this one is almost perfect in the shrink. So I was like, I got to keep that. Just because it got DJ'd like crazy, got partied like crazy. And like, this is just one of those records that's like essential to the history of hip hop. It's amazing. So I have had copies in the past, but they're always beat. So that one I was like, it's kind of a once in a lifetime find probably. I don't know. I've never seen one that clean. This is Black Sabbath, Heaven and Hell, which I didn't think too much about at first, but then when I cracked it open and looked, it is a UK Vertigo, but it comes on that Vertigo label. Still very, very cool. And so I thought I would keep it. I've got a US, and I just was like, I'll just upgrade it to that and keep it. Great record. Let me see. A bunch of other stuff. Speaking of Black Sabbath, I got this. Someone traded it in. This is a Headless Cross first press with the hype sticker. I actually already had one, but it didn't have the hype sticker, so I swapped mine with this one. I've been ordering some things from Japan, and this one came like just for the shop and stuff. I got a little bit of a source of getting some things for the shop and for my whatnot and stuff. And this Bad Company is the first press of Bad Company's first record, and it was just so sweet. It's on an Island label instead of the Swan Song. And it's got that sweet Obi with it. It's the first Japanese press, so it's super clean. So I was like, what, I'll keep that, because I actually don't have a copy, and I grew up listening to that on freaking repeat. This stack is not in any sort of order. This is another one that came from that collection I was talking about. This is a white label promo of Flowers of Evil on this Limelight label. This Limelight label, if you ever see that, kind of take a second look at it. It's got some really interesting stuff on it. This is kind of experimental, out there. I wouldn't even really necessarily call it psychedelic. I'd more call it abstract. But the Limelight stuff is really weird and really cool. 50 Foot Hose is on there. There's a couple other really good ones on there. But Limelight's worth checking out. But that was in that collection. I didn't have it, so I decided I would keep it. There's another one that was in there. This original press of Widespread Panic. Somehow it's on red vinyl. I'm not a huge Panic guy. I like it. It's one of those things, a lot of the jam bands, I like it when I'm listening to it, but I don't really seek it out. But I listened to this one, and it's an original press, and so I was like, I'll keep it. I really, really liked this record. I'm going to spend some more time with it, but really enjoy it. Let me see. I got a bunch of stuff from different places. I think that might be just about all I got from there. Another killer edition is the Bob Marley Exodus UHQR. It is amazing to me how good audiophile reggae sounds on a good system. My system loves audiophile reggae. There's just all these little intricacies and little shakers and things going on. Sorry, I'm speaking in tongues over here. But some very cool things going on, and you hear more details. And the way my system is, like I've got it to where, like if I'm sitting right here, I'm hearing I have 4 speakers set up. I got a set of JBL L100s in the back, and I got my clip horns in the front, and I hit them all at once. It's just like I'm sitting right in the centrifuge of it, and it's just glorious. This is one a buddy of mine found, Brotherhood of Peace. I'm cutting it loose. This is a North Carolina kind of a hard rock thing. It's a little bit like a country rock, but it's got some really killer riffs on it. It's amazing. Really good, hard to find. It's not super rare, super valuable. It's worth like $100, but it's just kind of one of those I've been looking for a really long time. He found it and passed it my way. I think it's autographed by all of them. It's another one, Amish. It's a cool one on the Sussex label. Yeah, this has got some interesting backstory to it. They're a group of musicians from Canada, blah, blah, blah. There's a lot about this record I can't remember, but it's a pretty good record. Been looking for it for a while. A friend of mine found an original of this, so he sold me this reissue. It's called Brush. It's a really psychedelic, far out there Japanese private press psych rock record from like the early 70s, I believe. But anyways, the original copies almost don't exist. They're super, super rare. My friend found one, so he sold me his reissue. This is a reissue, but the original is on blue vinyl, just like this. It's just called Brush. It's just out. It's like the Japanese hard rock stuff that I love, but it's just way more out there. It's a little nutty. I was listening to it in the shop the other day, and someone was like, "What is this?" Rarely does anybody tell me to turn it off, but she was like, what is this? I was like, oh, you like it? She's like, no, I do not. I was like, all right. You guys probably heard me talk about this ad nauseum, but I thought I've added it to my collection. This is my Sudden Death Noble Records exclusive. I still have a handful of them on my website. The website's in the description of this video. So I still have a handful of them left. Tried to press, like what we're doing with these is we've done 300 of everything for a while, and when we do that, they sell out in 2 hours, and then people are buying multiple copies. They're putting them on Discogs. They end up going way up in value, all this stuff. I would just rather everyone get a copy. Like I want people to get them. So we started doing 500. That seems to be just about the sweet spot, to where everyone seems to be able to get one, and they don't sell out super fast. They sell out in like a week or so. So these are like I sold up to like I have like maybe. I probably have like less than 10 of this and probably like 20, 25 of those. So anyways, this is Poobah Let Me In. I've been wanting to do this for a long time. It's a double LP. It's really killer. I've talked about this a ton. But anyways, those are still on my website if you want them. As of right now, maybe probably not for long. This is a Zeppelin bootleg I've been really wanting. It's called The Hand That Feeds. This is also the same concert as Dancing Avocado. This is a limited edition of 500. It's number 375. I don't know how much that really means, because they'll just do it in a different color and make another one with limited to 500. So you don't know how many colors are there and what everything is, but still really cool bootleg. I love the cover art. That picture came from a tour program cover that they did. So that's where that kind of comes from. Let me move these around here. Just get you a little stack going. Oh, here's another bootleg I thought I'd show you. This is Nirvana Ross Glide 92. It's a really cool bootleg. One disc is blue, the other one is yellow. Limited to 350 copies. The cover is real flimsy, but it kind of folds out into a giant poster. It's really good. The audio's decent on it. I mean, the audio I think is really good for a bootleg. Just a super cool kind of legendary show. This one guy brought in a tub of records. And he, I don't know, now everyone's an expert, but he said, I found this tub of records in a storage unit, and I've done my research. I know what they're worth, and he wanted a lot for them. We ended up being able to make a deal. Luckily, they were all really, really, really clean. So I was able to pay him a little bit more than I normally would because they were clean. But, people say, I've done my research. It's just like, oh, God. Because people look them up on Amazon and crap, and like Amazon... I don't even know if they're actually looking at real copies, but they're like, I saw this record on Amazon for $1,200. And it's like, no, what? Anyways, it's like, I don't know how Amazon works, I guess. But it's like old records, like original pressings that people just throw on Amazon for like hundreds of dollars. And so people, you know, same thing with eBay, I guess. But anyways, this one was the one out of that collection I kept. It's a Doors mono tan label. It's super clean. I've had a couple copies of this in the past, but a clean one has eluded me. This one's nice. This was very nice. So I'm really thrilled with that one. That's the one out of that batch that I kept. Are these all backwards? No. This is one I bought from a Whatnot auction. This is the Devil's Anvil hard rock from the Middle East. It's what it sounds like. It's like hard rock with a Middle Eastern tinge to it. Got some sitars and things going on. I got some African records. This is one, BLO Back in Time. BLO is one of those like Nigerian funk bands that you gotta hear. They've got several albums, and they're all really good. This is one I've been looking for a long time. That Aphrodisia label, I try to get anything that I see on there, but this BLO record has been hard to find. I know you guys know African records are always in bad shape. That one's in decent shape and plays well. So another one from the collection I was talking about before, last one I think I'll probably show, is this White Stripes. This is an original first U.S. press. I do love the White Stripes. I love Jack White. I think he's brilliant. And a lot of that stuff I will try. If I see an original copy, I will keep it if I don't have it. So that's one I did not have. I thought I would keep. Another collection that came in. A guy sent me an email and said that he was local and he had him and his son had collected records, but it was a lot of his stuff from high school, and it was like older stuff, and I get that all the time. So this guy shows up to my shop, and I'm expecting, I've not met this man. I don't know what he looks like or how old he is. He's maybe a couple years older than me, maybe my age. He's close in age to me. And I'm like, old stuff, your age? Okay. And we'll start loading it in, and he had like 300 or 400 records, and it was all stuff from like my high school time. And up, like, you know, he had like a ton of like metal stuff, Coheed and Cambria, like a bunch of stuff that's out of print, a bunch of stuff, and just a bunch of regular stuff like Gorillaz and Hoobastank, and like just pop stuff, rock stuff from that time, and then also some like metal stuff I never heard of. So a lot of cool stuff. But there were some things that I almost forgot about that I listened to in high school. I don't know how much you care about this, but all this stuff is going to shock you that I even kept this put in my collection, but I did. When I was in high school, I listened to classic rock. I was all into classic rock. I was a little bit into funk. I wasn't into hip hop at all. I was a little bit, I was into grunge and like Rage Against the Machine and stuff like that. Like I liked older music, and I did not like the new music, but my friends were all in bands that sounded like, like freaking, I don't know, hardcore bands, whatever, Under Oath or whatever. So they were all in bands like that had that sound. And so anytime I was hanging out with them, we were at a party, or I didn't go to a lot of parties, but we were hanging out, driving in the car, whatever. They always would throw on all these albums, and I hated it at the time. But I actually a little bit secretly liked it. I kind of got to appreciate it and understand it and enjoy it. And then over the years, I've revisited it a little bit here and there, but I haven't in a while. So it's this type of music, Hawthorne Heights. This is one I didn't listen to a whole lot. If you were lonely, this is the one I listen to all the time, The Silence in Black and White. This is a 2005 press on clear wax. It's an original press of this, super, super cool. And I really like this record. Ohio's for Lovers is the track on here. It's kind of their most popular one. This Day to Remember was one that they listened to pretty regularly, and this was a little bit more on the hard side. Obviously this is embarrassing, but My Chemical Romance, it was one that it reminds me of the time. The Gorillaz, this actually is a first press, first UK press, 2001. Really nice shape actually, and I love this record coming up. No shame in that. Same with Demon Days. This is not an original. This is like I think a 2017 or something, but I didn't have it, and I really do like this record, so I kept it. Same with Amberlin. I had a college roommate that was really into Amberlin. He would drag me to shows all the time. So we saw Emery, and we saw August Burns Red and Under Oath, and a bunch of bands like that. A lot of bands that probably nobody's ever heard of, and they didn't put out much physical media, but he would drag me to shows all the time that came through, and I appreciated it. I liked it. I'd hop in the mosh pit a little bit. Atreyu, another one that we listened to a good bit. And man, I have not listened to this record since back then, like probably 2007 is probably the last time I listened to this record. Another Census Fail. I love this record, and a lot of these are out of print and they're hard to get. And so that's a great one. Story of the Year, that one I listened to a ton. Loved this record. I remember this came out, what year did this come out? 2003. I remember hearing this for the first time. I went to the beach with a friend of mine, and we listened to it the whole way there, the whole way back. Loved it. You know, it just brings back memories that I totally forgot about. You know what I mean? Another one is this City in Color. Love City in Color. Dallas Green's a fantastic songwriter. He has such a unique way of doing it, I guess you'd say. Really great melodies, all that stuff. Love him to death. I discovered him on MySpace back in the day. But love this record. Didn't have it, so I thought I'd add to my collection. Few more from that collection. Sum 41, All Killer No Filler. This one was just popular back then. I guess I was in, I was probably in middle school when this came out, honestly. And I freaking loved it. Me and my friends thought it was the most punk rock album ever back then. And it, you know, obviously wasn't. We didn't know what real punk rock was. This is the MOV press of Alice in Chains Dirt. I wanted to just test this against the reissue that just came out, but one of my favorite records. Obviously, I'm going to keep it. Billy String's Turmoil and Temple. I had a sealed copy of this, sold the sealed copy, kept this one. This is an amazing record. I love it. Out of print, hard to find, all that. So, great one. Outkast Stank On Ya, original U.S. press. Didn't have a copy of this. This album, listened to all the time back in the day when it came out. My sister's boyfriend at the time, her husband now, we would drive around. He had an old Camaro, and we would drive around listening to Outkast and Nelly and like all this stuff. You know, back then, some of the stuff aged well, and some of it didn't. Like, I don't think anybody really listens to Nelly anymore, but back then, Nelly was legit, man. I thought he was the greatest ever. This is one that a good friend of mine sold to me. The Soulful Moods of Marvin Gaye. It's the white label, and I'm telling you, this is stone mint, super clean. You don't ever see this record ever in any condition, much less clean, white label, all that. It's a beautiful record, super, super hard to find. That should be on the Grail video. This is another one from the Lejadu sisters. I got two. This one's kind of a more common one, easier to find. This one is mega rare. Some like funk from Nigeria. Great stuff. It's on that Aphrodisia label. It's an amazing record. I've been trying to get some of their original pressings for a while. And the last one is this Beatles Yellow Submarine Japanese press of the soundtrack. Super cool. As I was ordering stuff from Japan, this one came and it just kind of stuck out to me. But been doing really good, trying to get healthier. Over the years, I've had a really stressful life for the past 5 or 6, 7 years, and now I'm starting to realize if I don't get a hold of my health and do better, I will not live long. So I'm trying to lose weight. I've lost like 25 or 6 pounds in the past 2 months. I ran 10 miles yesterday, so I'm feeling great. I'm running every day, and I'm eating really well, and so I'm feeling really good, better shape than I've been in a long time. So life is good, everything's great, but it's just busy, and I'm trying to balance all that stuff. I think, I try to get out and run every day, and that takes up at least an hour of my day every day. So that's an hour gone. So just kind of restructuring some things. If it's something that's important that I want to pursue and keep doing. So anyways, thank y'all for your patience. Stick around. We'll have some more great videos coming up as soon as we can, but just wanted to show you what's been going on in the collection. Hope y'all have a great day. We'll see you next time.